All right, so today we're looking at John McWhorter's 9 Nasty Words, English in the Gutter, Then, Now, and Forever. John McWhorter is he is a professor at Columbia University. He teaches linguistics, of course, American studies, and music history. Now, this book, upon reviews, people say, yeah, it's a lot of fun, things like that, which it totally is. You could tell John's having a good time, but he's also saying something of value, of significance here that goes beyond just mere entertainment. He has a point, a thesis. And what I picked up from the book, because again, when we read things, there is the intentions of the artist and the perceptions of the reader. So when the reader reads something, they might get something totally out of what the intent originally was of the author. And that's an age-old question, you know, who determines the meaning of art, the consumer or the artist? Anyways, so in this book, he looks at languages, he looks at profanity throughout the ages. So he starts with hell and damn, because in the medieval period and way back when, before we were literate, before the majority of us could read and write, we believed in the power of words. So to damn somebody to hell, for example, that was like, whoa, that was a big deal. And now as we become more literate, our profanity changes. So hell and damn it's kind of just loosely used, but there was a period in time where to damn somebody to hell, I mean, shit, that was the worst thing you could say. And also given the superstitious elements of the culture at the time. Then he moves on to other words such as the N-word. And if you don't know what word I'm referring to, well, I'm sorry, maybe you should read a book or something and figure out what that word is, because I'm not going to say it. But he talks about that word. Now, John is he's a Black man living in the United States. So he even talks about how certain people can use certain words, and he explains why, and it's called appropriation. Now, usually when we think of appropriation, we think of like, oh, that's cultural appropriation. That's like me wearing a Rastafarian hat, Rastafari hat, excuse me, but not really taking on the culture. So utilizing something because it's comfortable to me, but not really believing in what that thing is. That's one definition of cultural appropriation that I understand and that I follow. But he talks about appropriation in the sense of reclamation or empowerment, and how in hip hop and Black culture in the States, at least, the N-word is used as a term of endearment, and it's not the hard ER, it's with the A ending. And he talks about that. And he also talks about that with the F word. And I'm not talking about fuck, I'm talking about a derogatory word, a profane word, a slur. That's what it is, a slur used against homosexuals. And he talks again about the history of the F word. He talks about the history of all these words and how it passes on until today and into the future. Now, again, as I was saying, the thesis of this book, his intention is to us to see how language changes. But what I really got out of it too is that these things are indicative of our culture. Words, profanity, slurs tell us a lot about the hidden psychic effects, if you will, of culture, religion, and identity, and how those things affect or censor inexplicitly and explicitly, so without us knowing and with us knowing, the words that we use. For example, going back to the F word, the slur for a homosexual male, is that word was once used as a bundle of sticks in medieval England. And getting a bundle of sticks in medieval England was just part of your life, right? This is before they had heating on demand and things like that. So you had to keep your house warm. You had to stay comfortable. So you'd always have a bundle of sticks. And then as time went on, that word became connotated towards dummy soldiers, and then became a word for women, because women were seen as inferior in society. Sadly, now obviously we know better, but they were deemed that way. And then those characteristics were then associated to homosexual males, because to be homosexual was deemed effeminate, and to be effeminate was deemed as weak, which, again, as we know, that is a false conclusion, of course. So anyways, excellent book. It's a lot of fun, yes, but there is also a greater purpose, a bigger message here. And I think it is definitely worth checking out, especially to understand why some of the words have such power and weight. And that power and weight is real, but also understanding why. So again, we've gone from words that were connotated to religion to them being connotated to culture, and to them also being tied to identity. And as a society, the slurs that we use, at least in Western society, really seem to be connected towards the identity of the individual. So the worst thing that you could say is attack someone's identity. And also, I mean, the same thing goes with people of devout religious backgrounds and strong cultural ties. Those are the three things that, as a society, as a culture, can be beyond offensive, but antagonizing and hurtful. So there you go. Excellent book. Check it out. Came out this year. 9 Nasty Words. I enjoyed it. I'm sure you will too. It would be great to have John McWhorter on. He's a very busy guy. He's working on woke racism. It's another book that came out after this one, and I'm definitely going to check that out. Thanks for listening. Enjoy reading. Keep on keeping on.